Welcome to New South Wales. So I'm over the Great Divide, the Great Dividing Range, which runs behind Sydney. I'm out west, and fewer people come out here than you would find on the coast, the east coast around Sydney and further north or south. Fewer people come out here, but the people who do come out here, they generally come out here for a reason, with a purpose. There is some reason why they, particularly those who move out this area, there's a reason they come out here. And much like migrants who come to Australia, there's a reason migrants come to Australia. Whatever that may be, there's a multitude of different reasons. For some, it's to be with family. For some, it's to have a better opportunity with work. For others, they prefer the culture in Australia. It allows them to be somewhat free of stereotypes and some kind of situations they're stuck in back in their home country. There are so many other situations that bring migrants, foreigners, in to live in Australia, to settle in Australia permanently. Now, there are also challenges with migrants coming in to Australia. Getting permanent residency, their PR visa, the PR status, is becoming increasingly difficult. Now, there are different pathways. There are skilled migration, there's family migration. A lot of people come in on student visas and graduate through that process to stay here. Now, I'm not involved in policy and things like that. I'm not commenting on the rules and regulations around that kind of stuff. What I'm looking at, I work directly with migrants, and I work to help them deal with their frustrations and to overcome the challenges they face, which are very unique to the individual. Everyone has a different purpose, and therefore there needs to be a different process, a different way of overcoming the challenges, the many challenges they face in an increasingly competitive migrant landscape in Australia. Now, there are many different ways to overcome those challenges, but there's something that stands out for me as the most important, and that is probably the core as to why we do anything, why we're even here, why we learn to communicate, and that's to build relationships. Genuine relationships, genuine connections, make friends, form close bonds with people at work, including your colleagues, including your boss, your managers, including your customers, the community in where you work, if you happen to interact with the community. And even not at work, even when you're at home, even in your private life, get into a habit of forming relationships. But I just want to give you a few examples of where that ability to form relationships, to form bonds, falls flat, or at least becomes much more difficult, and how migrants can overcome that. So I came across one client several months ago. He was in Melbourne. He's working in an IT firm. He works in computers. He's a developer. Now, he works at quite a big company, and he was quite stressed about gaining PR, about his ability to stand out above his colleagues. So his workplace was predominantly migrants. And he just felt like another number. He felt like there was less of a chance for him to stand out in that work environment. And it probably is, when you're amongst a sea of foreign workers, you tend to be categorized not just by the employer, but also by your colleagues. You're just one of them. Now, that affected his confidence, that affected his ability to see light at the end of the tunnel. Yes, he was earning money. Yes, he was legally allowed to stay here, but that's not his goal. His goal is to immigrate to Australia and set up a life. Now, he couldn't even do simple things, considering that status. He loves fishing, but because he didn't have his permanent residency, and because of the uncertainty that he was actually going to be able to stay longer than the next 12 months, he couldn't even do simple things like fishing. He didn't want to buy a load of gear and set up a life here because there was so much uncertainty about that life that he wanted. I have another client in the countryside. So that last guy, he was in Melbourne. I have another client. She's in the countryside. Now she works currently 2 jobs. One is in a factory where it's very processing food. It's very competitive. They work for a base salary, but also on a bonus if you process a larger amount of product. Now that creates a lot of competition, and again, it's a predominantly on the floor of the factory, it's a migrant workforce. So that is an added competitiveness to trying to stand out and perform as a migrant who wants to stay in Australia and gain PR. That created some real negative circumstances for her. Though the job was okay, but it was the competition, it was the attitude between colleagues and management that created a lot of problems. Now she's got another job. So now she's straddling 2 jobs, and this job is more service orientated. It's not to do with production or manufacturing, it's to do with dealing with people. And this workforce is predominantly Aussie, or at least multi-generational Aussie. Less, in fact, none. There's no others like her who are here on a working visa aiming for permanent residency. And I said to her, that's the situation you want to be in. It's much easier for you. You're working directly with local people. This is your chance to better understand Australia. It's to better connect with Australians and to form that insight and that knowledge and those relationships. From that, you're going to be able to actually become more integrated into the community. You're going to be able to show genuinely that you want to be here, you want to stay here. And that is one of the things that, to get an edge in the workplace, you have to show that you want to be Australian. You have to show that your goal is to stay here, to be part of the community, to actively contribute to our country. Now, unfortunately, the onus is on the outsider to do that. In any country in the world, if you're coming into a community, you have to show that you want to be a part of that community before they will accept you. And the point is, it's easier to do that once you have relationships, once you build genuine connections with people. And that is easier when your colleagues are mostly locals. If you're working with a large group of migrants, temporary migrants, then you are going to find it more challenging. And so a lot of my clients, I tell them this. It's like, yes, go for the easy jobs. Go for the jobs that you're skilled in and you're talented in. But also consider the chances you have to connect with Australians. That's really important. Building relationships, building connections, and genuine understanding. And that's something you don't have to describe to people. You don't have to tell people. They'll feel that. They'll feel that through your attitude. They'll feel that through your words. And they'll feel that through your openness and your honesty. Now, there are many pathways to PR, and I don't want to downplay the role of qualifications and skills and your experience and background. The qualifications and the experience that migrants themselves bring to the country are important. But what's equally important, and in fact, once you're here and once you have a job, is to prove your character, to prove that, maybe prove is the wrong word, but to show to your colleagues, to show to the people you work with that you are worth keeping on, that you stand out above the crowd and you actually want to become Australian. That's important. And it's something that's often overlooked by migrants. I don't think enough employers actually recognize this as well, although subconsciously they probably do. But it's not made known. And so that's with my clients, I like to let them know, hey, apart from all these other details, okay, you have a job, you have this, you have that. If you want to stay here longer term, start acting like it. Start showing people. You've got to show that you have a genuine interest in the country, in becoming Australian, and you can only do that through relationships, through genuine bonds and connections to the people around you. And that's where communication helps. Now, language, yes, but there also needs to be a certain level of confidence from the part of the migrant employee. There has to be that confidence to stand up and to stand out and to be brave. For a lot of people, that comes naturally. For other people, it's a lot more challenging. But that's fine, Coming to Australia, moving to Australia is going to be a challenge. We can help overcome that through conversational skills, broad communication techniques, and confidence. And that all comes with an understanding of culture, an understanding of Australia, an understanding of other people. And that can only come through relationships and communication with other people. Close, genuine, open and honest communication. So that's the hidden secret. It's the technique. It's not hidden. It's just about genuine and normal human interaction. I think in a complex world like we face now, a lot of people get overwhelmed and they don't recognize the value in that, but it's still there. And in fact, because a lot of people don't have that perspective, if you do approach life with that understanding, things will work out. Things will be much better. And you'll find that you will get that edge over the competition, which is undeniable for many migrants these days.